When women go out with a man that they do not know, they take a huge risk. Men are crazy, okay? Do you watch the news? Like 1 in 5 men are violent. He could unalive you, he could RAPE you, he could stalk you, he could harass you if he feels like it. Like, it is very dangerous, extremely dangerous. When you go out with a man, you have to share your location with your mom and your friend. You have to send a screen recording of his Hinge profile and the conversation that you guys had so that if you go missing, they have context. You have to text your friend every half an hour while you're with him to let her know that you haven't been beheaded. You have to take an Uber so that he doesn't know what kind of car you have, just in case he's crazy. And then when you get home, you have to text somebody to tell them that you made it home alive.
One would think men are evil. One would think men are just monsters. Every man just walks around deleting women, raping women, physically abusing women. Based on what she just said, men, we all just walk around looking for women to hurt. But nobody ever talks about how evil women are, how women abuse their spouse in a lesbian relationship, how women abuse men physically. Two examples that women are equally as violent and destructive as men. However, society gives women a pass. The 2 clips I'm going to show you today, if men committed those 2 acts, it will be over for those 2 men. Shout out to our brother Shabazz for sending this clip. Let's get to it. Hello, welcome to Reactions and Reviews. I'm your humble host, Eze. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Malika, investigators say this woman cut off her husband's private part and then put it in the garbage disposal. Investigators were back here on scene again tonight at the couple's home collecting evidence they say could put this woman in prison for the rest of her life. And people in the neighborhood who don't know the couple at all are shocked all the same.
I got some goosebumps when I heard that. That's just, it's disturbing, especially to a man,
According to police, Catherine Becker and her 51-year-old husband were together for less than 2 years, living together but going through a divorce. Neighbors never saw or heard them argue. Investigators believe 48-year-old Catherine Q. Becker had a plan that was calculated. They believe she served her husband dinner laced with drugs at their Garden Grove condo last night. When her husband passed out, she tied him to their bed, allegedly cut off his penis with a 10-inch kitchen knife, placed his body part in the garbage disposal, and turned it on. Then she called 911.
Trial has finally begun for Southern California woman who famously, kind of famous, cut off her husband's penis before throwing it in the garbage disposal.
Now, think about how malicious that is. Now, first of all, you already got it. She chopped off his penis. That's literally as malicious as it could possibly be. But just so to make sure they couldn't put it back on, she throws it in the garbage. He's all tied up, and he's probably hearing, he's probably screaming his head off. Yeah. But there's actually tape of it. She, for some insane reason, did an audio recording, and you could hear the garbage disposal going in the background.
With her screaming, "You deserve it, you deserve it, you deserve it."
Oh, so in Santa Ana, California, there was a woman who went all Lorena Bobbitt on her significant other. Oh. Her estranged husband. So they're in court over it. She cut off, yeah. His madness. But listen, so the lawyer is now saying that the defense attorney, her attorney, is saying that she had, quote, a break from reality.
I don't know the circumstances. I don't know why he filed for divorce. I don't know what was going on between them. However, I do think it's quite fabulous. Can you just imagine that thing whizzing around the disposal? It's like hysterical. But however, I think I would have just, depending on why she cut it off. It does depend on the reasons why.
Does it?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Standards. That's just an acceptable reason. I'll think of one. I would have just thrown it in the dog's bowl.
Ladies and gentlemen, do y'all remember that case? It was like 10 years ago or 11 years ago. Do y'all see how little American women think of American men? Ladies and gentlemen, do you all see how little American women think of American men? This bitch is here laughing. This is a man's penis that was cut off, and this British bitch is here laughing. like it's funny. Now, if it was her son, would she still think it's funny? If her son's girlfriend did what this woman did to her man, would she still think it's funny? But here she is laughing. Now, watch this. One of her co-hosts made a statement that, yo, I really don't think this is funny. If it happened to a woman, would we still be laughing? Let's check out her reaction.
Not to be like a total buzzkill, but it is a little bit like sexist. Like if somebody cut a woman's breast off, no one would be sitting laughing. Like it's not that right to sit around laughing about it if we think about it.
It's different, though.
It is different.
One's floppy and like, it's easy to do that.
If you made it this far, hit that like button and leave a comment to trigger YouTube's algorithm. I'm a new channel and I'm trying to grow. So hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to let you know every time I upload a new video.
Domestic dispute, my wife.
You're having an issue with your wife?
Yes.
Okay, what's your wife's name?
Raquana Williams.
Was anybody physically hit or push?
Yes, me.
The Aces played in Chicago last night, beating the Chicago Sky, but one of their injured players spent last night at CCDC, charged with 9 counts of domestic battery. And today, Raquana Williams appeared in court. Here you see 33-year-old Williams in Las Vegas Justice Court behind the glass in shackles. She's charged with several counts of domestic violence strangling. One of the charges against her includes use of a deadly weapon. Prosecutors say the victim is her wife. The police report accuses Williams of punching and kicking her, grabbing her, and strangling her for an hour. Williams is due back in court next week. Judge Rebecca Sachs let her go today without having to pay bail, told her to stay away from the victim, and outlined the seriousness of the charges.
It is very, very disheartening to see that domestic violence allegations are still a thing in the WNBA. If you are a WNBA fan for any length of time, you have seen this happen before. You've seen allegations made against prominent WNBA players in the past, including some players who are continuing to play in the league today. And Raquana now has a second public allegation of domestic violence.
She was arrested in 2019 also for domestic battery charges. At that time, she played for the WNBA's Los Angeles Sparks. The WNBA suspended Williams for 10 games for that arrest, but those charges were dismissed in 2020. The league says it's investigating. The team says she won't be participating in team activities while they gather info, adding, as an organization, we condemn domestic violence of any kind.
And this is nothing new. This is nothing new. It happens all the time. But if you notice, America never makes a big deal about it.
Ma'am, the court does have concerns regarding the extremely violent nature of the allegations in this case that they allege to have occurred over an extended period of time, and that you came back as a high-risk lethality on the domestic violence report. The court does balance that, however, with your lack of any criminal history at age 33. The court does balance that, however, with your lack of any criminal history at age 33. The court does balance that, however, with your lack of any criminal history at age 33.
There you hear Judge Sachs say that Williams has no criminal history, but here are court records that show she was arrested in 2019 also for domestic battery charges.
Now, what do you guys think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Either way, leave your comments below so we can start this conversation. Until the next video, stay safe in the streets. Later. That will wrap it up for today's episode. And thank you for joining me. So please, leave a comment below. If you agree, if you disagree, it doesn't matter. Leave the comment below. And also, you tell me what you want me to cover. You tell me what you want me to discuss and what you want me to react to, okay? And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'll see you on the next episode. Please don't forget to subscribe. Let's rebuild the Black nuclear family. It is needed, okay? God bless.